Good evening, ladies and folk, men, or whatever you are. Eh,
Yes.
you have to excuse us tonight. The both of us, are a bit under the weather, as it turns out.
Yeah, I'm a tad tired, but I'm still raring to go with this.
Yes, I am sleep deprived as well, and let me tell you this: when you're already sleep deprived, do not try to go back and say, for the sake of nostalgia, try to watch The Animals of Farthing Wood. Because even though that cartoon traumatized me as a child, to watch it again as an adult, let me tell you, it's a cure against insomnia. The Animals of Farthing Wood. Or as I like to call it, The Animals of Brain Farting Wood. The only thing memorable about it is probably the theme. It gets stuck in your head, you know the one. Da 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 da.
That and the gorgeous animation.
I'm sorry to say, but
It's not
animation,
aged well for you.
No, the animation is not really good, and even for the period. I mean, I'm sure for British animation that counted as high standards, in quotation marks. But I say the backgrounds were well drawn. I'll say that. But the animation, oh boy, what is this British animation and this its tendency to slow everything down in order to have each and every scene drawn out as much as possible, and to desperately try to fill a 20-minute long episode.
Budget cuts.
You know, other cartoons that would experience budget cuts would use animation shortcuts to get to the point fast. This cartoon does not use animation shortcuts. It uses animation equivalents of long walks into parks. And every scene is drawn out far longer than it needs to be. And let's say you have all the animals, they have to move out all at once to go somewhere else, because they're constantly running away from the humans, because it's basically a story of exodus, much like Watership Down.
Yeah.
With lots of death, much like Watership Down, with a little bit of the plague dogs, too, but for children, apparently. For some reason, it's for children. Go figure. It's kind of is, but it also it is not. But anyway, so you have all the animals to move out at the same time. So what do? Do you have all the animals in the same shot move out at once? No, that would cost too much money. So it's best to have each and individual animals in the group moving out one shot at a time. Wow, that really draws you in, doesn't it? Oh,
it's wonderful.
Oh golly!
And all this just to segue into Silent Ponyville 2, Chapter 2.
Best segue ever, folks. Did we mention that we are both tired?
And did we mention we're both professionals?
No, we didn't.
Oh, well, someone did. Was it George?
No, I think it was Steve. So was it you, Steve? Anyway, okay, let's start reading and let's see if ours reacting to this story is going to somehow wake us up.
Yes, okay, so let's see.
I believe, Devar, it is your turn to read, so...
Alright. Rainbow desperately waved her hoof, but no matter what she did, she couldn't seem to grab hold of the fog.
What the hell is this?
What
the hell is this?
Why would you try and grab a fog?
Why? You can't grab the fog! You can't touch the fog! It's fog! You're not touching the fog!
Rainbow, I'm pretty sure you know what fog is.
Well, actually, well, to be fair, she's a Pegasus. Pegasus can touch clouds. Okay, that irate outburst was completely uncalled for. This actually makes sense in the continuity of the show.
Oh dear.
So,
okay,
never mind.
Let's go. Okay, we're going to go back in time, Madhog, and fix this.
Oh boy, that woke us up, I'll say.
Yes, your shouting woke us up. She reared up her hind legs and kicked as hard as she could, but her legs only hit air.
You know, this really sounds stupid. I cannot help it, but this really sounds stupid.
Even though it makes sense.
Even though it makes sense. Imagine that. Anyway, what is wrong with this fog? I can't touch it. Ugh.
Rainbow huffed, stomping a hoof on the ground.
I'm not sure. It was like this for me too.
Did you try to touch the fog, Pinky?
Pinky! Okay, Pinky, I know for a fact, you being an earth pony, you cannot touch clouds.
But Pinky logic, right? Anyway, Pinky said, looking up at the sky.
I originally tried to escape from here by using my balloon fly out. But there are too many holes in it. I don't know what's beyond the fog bank.
The technical problems of the game itself. Oh wait, that's Silent Hill. Sorry about that, guys. It's Rainbow next.
Okay. Well, I'm about to find out. If nothing else, I should be able to be rid of this fog.
Rainbow said, spreading her wings before racing up into the sky, disappearing from sight quickly. Do you think it's safe?
Flutterby.
Fluttershy asked, looking at Pinky curiously.
Flutterby. I'm thinking of those stupid flutterbys that just really supposed to be butterflies in Mogeko Castle. That's
yeah, those was
kind of stupid.
Yeah, that's one horror we need to just put away for now.
Well, if anyone can handle herself, it's okay. This is wrong, obviously. If anyone can handle herself, it's Rainbow Dash. Is Rainbow Dash, I think. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure she'll manage to have this place cleared up in 10 seconds flat. And
Pinky's words were interrupted by an ear-shattering roar that bounced and echoed through the town. It felt like the very earth itself was shaking at the roar. Fluttershy and Pinky instantly looked up into the sky at the direction of the roar. As Rainbow came barreling through the fog at them, the music box in Fluttershy's bag began to hiss, with a sound similar to bees being stuck in the box. Okay, so the music box is acting as the radio, in this case.
Wait, now you figured that out?
Well, never mind.
Okay, Devar, here's the spade. Start to dig your own grave.
Well, it's not like that. I'm saying that.
I'll call you Shovel Knight if you want.
And what? You're gonna be the Plague Knight?
No, I'm going to be the Nighty Knight. Because I'm sleepy. Hide now!
She yelled loudly before swooping down to the ground. The hooves of her friends.
She's
grab the hooves of her friends.
Yes.
Grab the hooves of her friends before giving them a chance to register her words. She half dragged them behind the library, where they all heard a tremendous thud shake the ground, as if something gigantic has just landed quickly.
Guess what it is? What's gone?
Pinky tried to ask, only to have Rainbow quickly shove her hooves into her mouth, giving a loud yes, giving a loud snorting cocaine. That makes sense. Of course, she's saying shush.
Look around the corner. Carefully. Boingy, 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 boingy.
Boingy, boingy.
Careful for you.
Rainbow whispered harshly before looking around the tree herself. Pinky and Fluttershy carefully looked around the corner themselves. Fluttershy's eyes widened as she felt as if her heart could stop at the sight before them.
Devar, if you go any slower, I'm going to seriously fall asleep. Seriously. Pick up the pace, man. I don't know, man. Do I have to start a pick up the pace, man counter? Because I said that so many times. Yeah. I might as well change my brain with an actual broken record.
In the yearly, yes. A gigantic black dragon had landed in front of Twilight's house. It growled softly as black smoke billowed from its nose. It gave a snort, shooting out a large part of the smoke into the air as it swiveled its head around, looking for the pony that had just escaped from its sight.
Shifty eyes.
It stepped forward carefully, examined the building and areas on the street.
I'm examining the buildings.
Thank you for the sound effects.
Well, I'm getting back to you, actually.
It gave another snort of frustration as its wings opened up. Thank you, Ultimate Warrior, giving them a good flap.
Welcome, Hulk Hogan. The Ultimate Warrior only provides us great because he's going to come up with a spaceship and defeat the evil silent Ponyville.
Giving them a good flap, lifting its body into the sky, causing everything to rattle and shake with the force of the wind.
Oh, he's an airbender. Great.
With a few more quick flaps, it flew up into the fog-filled sky, disappearing from sight. The buzzing of the music box faded away with the dragon.
The music box? What's wrong with the music box?
The three mares stood frozen.
Let it go! Let it go!
I was frozen today!
Also that.
Waiting until...
wait. Nice to meet you.
Waiting until they could no longer hear the beating of its wings before letting out a long collective sigh.
Well, okay, here's the 5,000 bits question. What's a dragon doing here?
Pinky asked, stepping out from behind the tree, looking up at where it had flown off.
So, Sleepy Rainbow Dash says, I don't know, but it seemed to know exactly where I was at the moment I started flying. And that's no good.
Rainbow said, looking at her wings.
I can't go up into the sky and clear this weather away if it knows where we are when I fly.
Rainbow groaned.
Groan. Meaning I can fly at all, because it's in cap locks this. And then we're going to have to deal with this fog. It's alright,
Pinky smiled reassuringly.
I had to remember you're the one reading.
Yes, and I had to remember I had a brain.
Oh, you have to remember you have a brain. But how can you remember that if you actually don't remember you have a brain? It's a slippery slope.
Yes.
The fog's not so bad. Once we get inside, we'll be able to see just fine. We'll be able to see all the monsters and the... I don't think we're going to see the darkness. The Reptinal Phillies. They were a specific feature of the first story. Because this being Fluttershy's mind, so clearly all the monsters are somehow related to her subconscious fears and traumas. That Silent Hill 101, basically.
Yes, which even Silent Hill forgets.
Pyramid Head. You overstated your welcomes.
And nurses.
And nurses, too.
Alright,
Anyway, if you say so, alright, let's go, Flutters.
Flutters? Okay, don't. I know she's been cut off here, but it sounds funny. Rainbow said, turning to look at the ball of pink that was curled up, shivering on the floor.
Fluttershy?
She asked, worriedly, quickly running over to her mare friend.
Wait, I don't sound worried enough. Fluttershy?
Yeah, that is definitely worrying. You get a Nobel Prize.
I get a Nobel Prize for faking worry?
Yes.
Well, they give a Nobel Prize for pretty much anything these days.
Dragon that chases you when you fly?
If you remember, she had a nightmare about the dragon.
Yeah. Fluttershy stuttered in fear, whimpering and shivering, curled up in a ball behind a tree.
You just literally said the same thing in the last sentence. About being curled up in a ball, you know?
Yeah, I think the author just wants to remind the readers, apparently.
Okay. By the way, reader, this is how you breathe. Inspire, expire. You know?
She was scared out of her wits. Oh no, you don't say.
Hey, come on, it's alright. He's gone now.
Rainbow said, leaning down, nuzzling Fluttershy gently.
He's gone and he won't hurt you. I promise.
What if it's a she?
He's gone and he won't hurt you. I promise.
Again, what if it's a she?
I said...
Fluttershy began to calm down, feeling the comfort of Rainbow Dash. She stopped shivering, leaning up and nuzzling Rainbow Dash back.
It's just one dragon. We'll get to your house, find out what's causing these nightmares, and we'll be out of here in no time, okay? Come on, 20% cooler, 10 seconds flat. Gotta go fast.
3 minutes and we're out of here. The clock is ticking and we're in the clear. Wrestling fans, if you know what I'm on about, then congratulations. Rainbow said reassuringly to her mare friend.
Well...
Pinky said, looking conflicted.
I don't want to lie to you two. This place sucks.
I don't know.
Really sucks. You have no idea. Okay? It sucks worse than an Ultimate Warrior match in WCW. That's how much it sucks.
Oh gosh.
You know, it sucks so much! Did I get that through to your thick skulls?
My skull might be too thick right now tonight, so...
Are you talking smack about the Ultimate Warrior? Ultimate Warrior's matches are flawless wrestling execution!
Anyway, what the original line says...
I think I lost myself.
I don't want to lie to you two, but...
that might not be all we face.
Thank you, veteran exposition lady.
What? You mean there's more?
Rainbow said, looking up, surprised at Pinky.
Well, when this happened to me before, I encountered many monsters.
Pinky hung her head solemnly, not wanting to have to say this.
It's why I didn't want Fluttershy coming in here alone. I keep telling this many times. You should have told them before! You should have told them everything!
I think they had a right to know beforehand.
What is wrong with you? I was afraid she'd have to face monsters like I did, and I couldn't stand words. I couldn't stand the IKEA.
The IKEA.
I couldn't stand the idea of her having to face them alone.
And not having a fanfiction without me.
And at the end of it, this will all be for naught anyway. Because she's going to face them all alone.
Yep.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
Oh yeah. Fluttershy shrunk back into a ball at Pinky's words.
There it is. And you didn't think to tell us this when we were discussing the spells? Oh, for crying out loud! Story, don't point out your own plot holes. That's our job.
Yeah, I mean, if what's the point of us doing this if we can't tell what the plot holes are?
This only makes me feel even dumber. Rainbow almost yelled.
I think she did yell. Rainbow almost yelled, but holding herself back.
Oh, so she almost yelled anyway. Hey, I tried to get a different spell to be used, didn't I? Then you're right then. I did everything I could to make sure we didn't have to resort to this. And when we did, I refused to let her do this alone. Again, you could have told them. This is not an explanation. This is not a justification.
This argument is starting to weigh on my nerves slightly. Pinky protested to Dash's accusations.
You still could have told us there'd be monsters. Yes, you
Yes,
could have.
But she
You could
didn't.
have.
Rainbow felt her hair standing on end.
We could have been more prepared. We could have prepared for facing them or running away. We could have brought our elements.
No, you couldn't.
Probably you couldn't. This is all happening inside somebody's mind, so I don't think you could. But anyway, details.
Rainbow growled in frustration, closing her eyes.
We could have done something so as to not put our lives in danger. I'm starting to sound less like Rainbow Dash and more like an...
I have no idea what you're trying to sound like.
okay. Oh, sorry, I dozed off for a second.
Oh dear, no. Rainbow panted heavily. She was angry. She couldn't remember being so angry before, except when she was hungry.
Well, I can. Remember when she couldn't spend winter with her tortoise?
Oh yeah, I think everyone remembers that.
I am sorry.
You're sorry?
Well, everything is forgiven then.
Yep, I guess all is forgiven. Everything's under the rug.
This story is not making a great job in making us sympathize with Pinkie Pie, which was the main character of the previous story, by the way.
Pinkie lowered her head, her ears folding back. Rainbow opened her eyes and looked at Pinkie. Pinkie looked like she was on the verge of tears. Rainbow opened her mouth to say something, but closed it again. She was still mad, but she couldn't stay mad at her friend this way.
Why not?
Rainbow turned her head to look at Fluttershy, who had covered her head with her hooves, shaking.
Well, okay. So far, our dynamics is as follows. Rainbow gets mad easily. Pinkie Pie is being cryptic for no reason whatsoever. And Fluttershy curls into a ball of fear.
Still better than Dolphy say how scared of sharks she is.
Let us not bring Wadanohara into this.
Rainbow was sure she could hear Fluttershy's soft sobs. Rainbow sighed softly, walking up to Fluttershy, lying down on the ground before her, lowering her head. And guess what, folks? Is it A, kissing, B, holding a hoof, or C, nuzzling?
Or D, none of the above. I'm going to go with C, Bob.
Ding, 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 ding! Congratulations, you won the grand prize!
Yay! I won! What did I win?
You win the shovel!
This is the worst game show ever.
Nuzzling her mare friend gently, Fluttershy hiccuped softly, trying to breathe, her mind still reeling from everything.
You know, I am disappointed I haven't seen an All Her Might yet.
No, that needs to be not in this yet. Maybe it'll make a cameo appearance.
I hope it does. Flutterby. Fluttershy. I'm going to call her Flutterby from now on.
Flutterby, bye, bye.
Flutterby. Listen to me, please.
Rainbow said, closing her eyes, speaking to her from her heart.
This isn't the best situation we could find. Ourselves in.
Damn it, Madhog. Don't yawn. You're making me yawn.
Well, yawning are contagious.
Yes.
It is scientifically proven.
Yes, it is. Because we want to be part of a group.
No, because college humor said so. Fluttershy hiccuped softly, trying... Oh, it's you again.
But
I want you to speed up this reading desperately that I'm trying to reading myself.
Actually, you were supposed to be saying this isn't the best situation we could find ourselves in, but I need...
Oh my god. Well...
This is terrible of us.
You read it for me, so... we could find yourself. But I need you to know that no matter what happens or what we face, you're going to be okay. Lies!
All lies! Fluttershy began to calm down again, sniffing as she took a deep breath. But no yays. Feeling the comfort of her mare friend, she slowly uncurled from her ball, moving closer to Rainbow, wrapping her head around Rainbow's neck, as Rainbow nuzzled against Fluttershy's neck.
Well, you know, about Fluttershy, you could say that she tasted the rainbow. In fact, she just tasted the rainbow last night.
Yeah, we get it.
Okay. I'm not proud of that, by the way. Like I said, I'm sleepy.
Yes, we're all not proud of things when we're tired.
Fluttershy began to calm down again. Why am I reading this?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, there's a dialogue here that you missed.
No, actually, this is literally the next sentence after I just finished saying you're going to be okay.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Are you sure?
I'm sure. God damn it! This is a disaster. This is a complete disaster. When I say complete disaster, I mean complete spelled complete. No, like in King's Quest 3, complete.
Oh, yes. Fluttershy looked up into Rainbow's eyes, seeing the comfort and warmth they offered.
Wait, where are you now?
I told you. Basically, it's after the line you say, I need you to be strong right now, alright?
No, I said you're going to be okay.
I said the whole sniffing and the whole nuzzling to the neck and all that.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
I definitely did.
You did not. I'm fairly sure you did not.
Madhog, if you check the recordings, I
will check the recording later, but my memory right now, which might be wrong, is telling me that you did not, and you actually jumped that part. Oh my god!
Oh gosh, this is awful.
This is the worst reading we've ever had, and because of that, it's also the best.
Okay, should I redo that line just for you?
Just for my peace of mind.
Okay. Fluttershy began to calm down again, sniffing as she took a deep breath. Feeling the comfort of her mare friend, she slowly uncurled from her ball, moving closer to Rainbow, wrapping her head around Rainbow's neck.
Oh yeah, now that you read it a second time, I remembered you read it already. Silly me, making us waste time.
Madhog.
Yes? Before you say anything, I would like to remind you that I already have the shovel.
I think you deserve this. You needed that.
I definitely needed to hear you facepalm. Thank you for that.
No, I slapped you in the face.
Oh, you did? Oh, sorry, did not notice. I thought you facepalmed.
Look, I may be skinny, but I do pack a wallop, you know.
Uh-huh. Right. We'll have to see about that. Anyway.
Oh gosh, please no.
I need you to be strong right now, alright? I could definitely best you in a sumo wrestling competition.
I'd rather not. I'm not a violent person.
No. You have to say it like Bernard.
I'd rather not.
Perfect. Okay.
Fluttershy looked up into Rainbow's eyes, seeing the comfort and warmth they offered. She heard her words as they echoed in her mind. She gulped down the nervous tensions that had built in her throat before nodding slowly.
That's my girl!
Please don't say that, Rainbow.
Why not?
I don't know. Anytime a character says that, oh yeah, that's my girl sort of thing, it sounds kind of wrong to me.
I don't know what kind of weird out of context thing you're trying to pull off here.
It's called out of context reality context.
It's called words put in line, hoping they mean something.
Yes. Rainbow kissed her forehead. She helped Fluttershy onto her hooves.
Now give me a smile, right? Oh, is it song time?
I want you to smile, smile, smile.
It wasn't exactly like that.
No, but it goes with the, the scene. It took a moment, but Fluttershy managed to bring her courage forward and put a smile on her face. Rainbow smiled back before turning to face Pinkie Pie, who still had okay, this brings me out of my tiredness slightly. Who still had the apologetic look on her face.
That's funny. Hey, look, it's alright, Pinkie Pie. It isn't, but let's pretend it is.
Yes, let's pretend it is for story's sake.
We are putting up with a lot with this story so far.
Yes. Rainbow put a smile, and up with the story, of course, on her face for her friend.
I know you meant well. Sure.
Yeah, sure.
You wouldn't put us in danger on purpose, but since we're already here, we might as well just deal with it. You're still right, Dash.
Pinkie turned her head away from Dash. What, not Rainbow anymore? We're just gonna call her Dash from now on?
I am the Dash.
I am the Rainbow to your Dash.
I'm the R to the A to the I and Bo.
Oh no.
You kind of waltzed right into that.
I was hoping not to. Still with the look of hurt on her face.
I think it was a stupid Max Stupid Pants.
Oh yeah, I guess.
She was a stupid Max Stupid Pants. Ugh.
Pinkie let out a soft sigh before putting a smile on her face.
Oh,
so many smiles going on.
No, she said a soft sigh, but it almost sounds like smile when accosted to the other sentence. Also that. I'll do my very best. I'll do my very best. I'll do my very best to make up for this and get us out of here as quickly as... What kind of an alien sound did I just emit from my mouth? It's like, what was that? What was that?
It was a mixture between the clicks of a predator and...
Like xenomorph?
I wouldn't know.
Anyway.
And a record scratch, that's it. The record scratch.
Ow. As quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Too bad Vine Scratch is not in this story. So let's head for Fluttershy's house. Right.
Rainbow nodded, smiling. The three mares walking off into the fog. And finally a break. So hopefully, Madhog could do better in staying awake, and I will take over his job of falling asleep.
Alright, so tonight has been an unmitigated disaster after the other.
So let's continue it and see where this train wreck goes.
I hope this train wreck can get back on the rails anytime soon, and I'll try to do just that. Which is because now it's my turn to read. Oh boy, at least we can go faster. It seemed like a long walk to reach the outskirts of Fluttershy's cottage.
You're going too slow.
The town had been dead quiet. There was a monster...
I was kidding! Just to give you a taste of your own medicine because you were going the same speed I was.
Actually, I was going much faster than you.
Uh-huh. You keep telling
Yes.
yourself that.
Oh yeah, I had this recorded so people will be able to tell the difference. There was a moment or two where they had frozen, thinking they had heard the wing bits of the dragon, but it faded as quickly as it came. Done! Done! That's how you do it, Devar.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I'm putting the Emperor's New Groove into this.
Ponyville had become a ghost town. The only free inhabitants seemed to be the three of them as they made their way out of town, following the path along the park, past the trees, quickly approaching the house where Fluttershy lived.
Well, this seems like a very lovely walk now, doesn't it? Very
then the
relaxing.
house came back to life and trying to eat them.
Which is a Monty Python sketch.
The air had felt thick between them. None of them had spoken since they had started walking. The only sounds they heard were their footsteps and the occasional breeze that seemed to blow through the town. "Here we are," Pinky said as they approached the bridge before Fluttershy's house. The three of them, none of them, all of them. Repetition much? The three of them just barely managing to make out the shape of the house in the fog.
Do you think my animals are okay?
They're probably all dead.
Yes, they're just gonna throw it out there, Fluttershy. They're all dead or being used as part of a monster's design, most likely.
Fluttershy asked as she looked around, trying to spot any critters. "I don't think there's any around.
You sound
Rainbow's-
like Applejack.
I don't think there's any around. Whoa, what's going on to my voice tonight?" Rainbow said, looking around herself before crossing the bridge. Lots of bridge crossing, I see.
Yeah.
I am not really sure what determines what you do and don't find in this world. Honestly, I figure she would come to Fluttershy's house. We should come to Fluttershy's house first because quote-unquote home was the first place I went. So since this is Fluttershy's mind, it made sense to me. When I was in my mind, the path to Fluttershy's house was blocked off. You know...
Yes,
you know,
that's true.
This is true and everything, and it's sound logic, but you're not supposed to bring logic and rational thinking into freaking Silent Hill. It kind of spoils the magic and the mystery, don't you think? It kind of ruins it.
Yeah, giving a mysterious world logic is like, I don't know, say that...
It's like making Alice in Wonderland, as in the Tim Burton version. You don't even call it Wonderland, you call it Underland. What's the deal with that?
That's a strange thing.
Anyway, Pinky explained as she walked up to the front door of the cottage, checking for any locks that might be on the door.
Do you want to do a terrible knock-knock joke here?
No?
I see. Well, I'm actually glad my animals aren't here then.
Flutterby smiled, walking up to Pinky.
I'd hate for them to be put in danger.
Uh-huh. Pinky opened the front door and the three of them entered Fluttershy's house. To Pinky's surprise, the house was intact. Everything that should be there was... the sentence seems weird to me. Nothing was run down or broken. There wasn't even any dust, as if the house had been sitting in time. "What's the matter, Pinky? You look surprised." Rainbow chuckled as she walked further into the house. "I guess I am a little. Okay, my house was a complete disaster when I went there. Why is our house spotless? That's just not fair."
I can only take a wild guess that basically it's, it's not I'm gonna theorize right now. The house is just a representation of a veil over what is actually beneath the house.
But hey, that's just a theory.
A fanfic theory!
Thanks for listening. We're not done yet.
No.
Anyway,
Pinky chuckles.
so Pinky chuckled a little awkwardly as she closed the door behind them. That was your first mistake. So, what exactly are we looking for? Rainbow asked, looking around at the house. Around at the house doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, it seems a bit weird for me as well to read.
I am not entirely sure.
Pinky with a big beard and crown.
Your knowledge of the land shall be great. I'm not sure. I guess anything that seems odd or out of place, something you wouldn't expect, or just a clue as to what exactly is going on.
Or what a paladin is.
Also that. Pinky explained as she began to look around at various shelves in Flutterby's home.
Oh, well, I guess I would know best then.
Flutterby said, tapping a hoof to her chin as she carefully glanced around the room. As Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash, awkward pose by the way.
Yes, they're always necessary.
As Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash carefully looked around the living room, Flutterby couldn't help but feel a connection to the kitchen. Oh, there is a good internet connection over there. Better bring my phone. So I can download the last song from Spotify or wherever.
Fluttershy has a kitchen.
Hashtag connection in the kitchen. She stepped out of the living room, soon entering the familiar space of her kitchen.
Again, she has a kitchen?
Yes, she always had a kitchen.
I don't remember it.
Well, I remember a kitchen mentioned in every fanfiction that took place in her house. So,
well, I guess it counts.
Well, she has to cook her food somewhere, or her animals. I was gonna say cook her animals' food. I meant to say she has to cook her animals' food somewhere, not her animals. That's what I meant to say.
Cooks her animals to feed them to the animals.
You couldn't see the apostrophe in this podcast because you don't have a text reference. It sounded like she cooked her animals. It's still funny. Anyway. Okay.
She looked around carefully.
She looked around carefully, trying to spot what was giving her the feeling something was in there. It was then that her eyes fell on the fridge. Relax, please.
Okay, it's a fridge, guys.
Attached by a small butterfly magnet was a piece of paper marked with what looked like a crayon.
Oh no, so horrifying! Crayons!
The crayons of doom. Fluttershy blinked, not having seen the paper before. She slowly walked up to it, getting a better look at it. It looked like a child's drawing. There is always one. Drawn with several colors of crayon. It was of a simple house with a sun. Outside the house was a happy pony attending to a garden. Bellow?
As if she bellowed out something.
Clearly he meant to say below, but yeah. So below the picture there were words written in a red crayon, which might as well be blood.
When I grow up, I will have a house and lots of pets. I love helping animals.
Aminals?
No, this was actually misspelled on purpose.
Yes.
It's supposed to be a child scribbling, you know?
I keep a K key to let me know I will have a house.
Actually, I'm starting to think it was not on purpose.
Yes.
Because it's this author we're talking about. There was a small bulge under the paper, as if the paper was hiding something.
Good night, buddy.
The paper had something under itself because it was a paper that was hiding something. The paper is the paper.
The paper, we have to be suspicious of the paper, for the paper is hiding something beneath the paper.
Flutterby carefully lifted the paper and looked at the back of it, seeing a key taped to the back of it. She carefully peeled the key away, looking at it. I could have used a comma here, but okay. The key was also in the shape of a butterfly.
Hey, how come this door is locked? Oh wait, that's someone else's.
Hey, how come this door is locked? Fluttershy's ear perked up as she quickly walked back into the living room. She saw Rainbow Dash struggling to try and open the door to her closet, which was locked tight. Isn't that convenient?
Yes, a very convenient skeletons in the closet sort of moment.
Does it have a lock on it? Pinkie Pie asked, turning from her side of the room to look at the door. Yeah, it does, Rainbow said, looking at her door. It's got the shape of a butterfly over a keyhole.
Oh, what are the chances?
In-game logic.
Well, I just found a key with a butterfly on it.
Fluttershy said, holding up the key. Then he probably opens the door, Pinkie Pie said, thinking about it. I bet she's crossing her limbs in a sage way.
Yes, a sagely manner.
Though maybe I should open the door.
Why's that?
Fluttershy asked, a little confused. What? Are you trying to steal the spotlight? This is my game. I mean, this is my story now.
Okay, I got it. Pinkie Pie is Titus.
Ha 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 ha!
Ha 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 ha!
Yeah, he's really did not belong in that story.
No.
I could say the same for the protagonist of Here and There, Now and Then. It really did not belong at all in that story. But anyway, well, I just don't want anything popping out and hurting you. Pinkie thought.
Likely story.
Likely story, Pinkie thought, before looking at Fluttershy's saddlebag. But, I guess you apostrophe music box isn't letting out any noise. Mistake. So I think it should be safe.
Mistakes all over on this closet.
My music box?
Oh yeah, I did not explain that either, now did I? Oh boy, I'm the worst. Yes, I am. Flutterby blinked, turning her head to look at the saddlebag. I wonder how long before Devar starts to correct me, because I'm purposely mispronouncing her name.
I'm just going to ignore it and just we gotta be faster.
Yeah, do you remember when the music box started making noise when the dragon attacked? The music box will let you know when something that is trying to hurt you gets close. So just be careful, alright? Pinkie explained, choosing her words carefully. What's there to be careful about at this point?
I'm trying to think, how can you choose your words carefully in this situation?
Hey, Flutters, if that music box is going to emit any sound, then you're probably about to die.
So simple. Doesn't need to be careful.
I see. Alright, I'll be careful.
Shutterfly.
Shut the fly.
Shutterfly nodded, walking up to
fly.
the door.
Shut the fly. Shut the fly. Shut the fly.
Now that's how Discord called her in the first episode of season 4.
Ah.
Rainbow backed up a little from the door, watching as Fluttershy unlocked the door. Backed up the door, unlocked the door. She slowly opened the door. Oh, God!
So many doors on this one door.
She slowly opened the closet. There, done. You don't need to repeat door 3 times. Looking inside the lightly lit room.
What, in the closet?
She stepped inside slowly, noticing that the things she would normally have placed inside were missing, and in their place was a grandfather clock, with words written on the side of the wall. My hands are frozen, let it go, but they weren't always this way. I used to reach for the sky and wave over the crowd, while my friend to my right offered me his snack.
That's a weird clue.
Textbook Silent Hill puzzle here. Anyway, it's your line, Dev.
Actually, it says Fluttershy heard.
Oh. Well, forgive me for being confused, but it says Fluttershy right after the line.
Yeah,
so
I know.
what's in there? Fluttershy heard Rainbow Dash ask from behind her.
She came from behind.
I think it's a puzzle.
No way! You think so? Really? Clusterfy said, thinking about the words and looking at the clock.
I think I know the answer, though.
She said, carefully lifting up her hoof to the face of the clock. She turned the long hand up to face midnight, while moving the small hand to face 3. So, Roosterfly heard a loud click, as if something was unlatched by her actions. She looked at the clock, waiting to see what it would do, when it suddenly began to rush up and out of her vision.
Wait, what? Rush up and out of her vision, as it jumped her?
Stutterfly let out a cry as she lost her bearings, falling into the giant hole that opened up beneath her. Fluttershy! Rainbow Dash yelled before the hatch that had opened closed. Wind rushed past her ears, falling in the darkness. She screamed and cried. She had opened her wings and stopped her fall, but they were stuck, glued to her sides. Her hooves flailed as she tried to grab something, which makes the bar laugh, as we established. Anything. She descended into the bottomless darkness. Well, it didn't took long for Fluttershy to get separated from the group, now did it?
No, it just took a half of chapter 2.
So, now it's your turn again.
Alright.
Good luck.
Thank you. Fluttershy let out a groan as she slowly lifted herself up off the ground. She rubbed her head as her eyes opened. It was too dark. She couldn't see a thing.
Oh, I had Mark read this part, actually, in my original review of this fanfiction.
Ah, not a bad line.
Rainbow Dash? Pinkie Pie?
Fluttershy oh, sorry.
It's alright. Fluttershy called out, trying to reach around for something. Only silence returned her call. She felt her saddlebag in her hoof and remembered something she'd seen inside of it. She carefully opened it up before reaching in. She moved the music box slightly to the side before grabbing a hold of a lantern in her teeth, pulling it out and turning on the light. She was in a blank room.
Oh, this room does not have its cutie mark yet.
It's a blank room. The walls seemed to be made of cement, and I just put myself in a very strange image just now, and I think I want it out of my brain now.
What were you thinking about?
Never mind, I think everyone...
Now you have to tell me now.
Because I said blank room, so... Just imagine a room of ponies' flanks surrounding the room as the walls.
Well, that would be a certain type of brony's dream. A very specific certain type of brony, mind you.
Yes, and that's not me. Okay, the walls seem to be made of cement, worn away by age. The sound of water dripping echoed off of the walls. She looked up at the ceiling. A metal grate was sitting in the way of her trying to fly back up the long shaft she had fallen through.
How did I get through the grate?
She asked herself, not sure exactly what had just happened.
And why am I not hurt if I fell from such a great distance?
She looked at her body, not seeing any damage or feeling any pain. It was as if landing on the hard cement after falling a great height hadn't hurt her.
No, it's just a couple of points from her life bar.
I need to get out of here. I need to meet back up with Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie.
Fluttershy thought to herself, quickly looking around for an exit. She saw a metal door along the wall behind her.
Okay, I just need to get my bearings, find where I am, and...
Surprise attack!
Surprise! It's your surprise attack moment! Fluttershy opened the metal door, revealing to a long hallway. I don't know why that sounds weird to me.
Revealing a long hallway.
Yeah, I think the two needs to be get rid of. Okay. Water covering the floor after a small dip in the ground. The walls looked like they were molding over. The channel seemed to stretch and turn. Looks like the hub went a bit AWOL here.
Well, the hub does not exist anymore.
Ah, yeah.
It's called Discovery Family or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know why the hub sticks out to me more.
It's about at this point that Flutterby reached a very important conclusion.
What?
Read it.
I have no idea where I am.
Wow!
That's such great deduction here. She had never seen this place before. Bravo! Bravo! I would not have known that she did not know where she was.
Well, this definitely deserved a sarcastic slow clapping.
Why is it flooded with water?
Now that is a more pressing question.
Well, you see, the water represents, it represents,
wasted ideas?
No, I think it's more like the impending sensation of drowning, which is basically her entire life completely submerged by anxiety. Yes, I think water represents anxiety.
Well, it represents emotion, anxiety, anything.
Anything you want it to.
Yeah, it's water. It can represent life.
It can also represent death.
Well, yeah, especially if you drink too much.
It depends by the context.
She asked as she slowly began to step into it. It wasn't very deep. It only came up to about her ankles. But it was enough that the tips of her hair would drag in it. The cool water sent a few shivers up her spine, but she headed forward. The only sound she could hear was the splashing of her steps as she went down the long hall. The quiet hallway seemed to echo her splashing loudly. The darkness of the hallways being lit only by the light of her lantern sent a chill up her spine. Okay, chill up the spine twice. I would get that checked out. She really...
Yeah, it could be a bad rash.
Either that or Pinkie Pie gave her pinky sense.
Oh, it's a really bad grammatical rash. You should see a doctor.
She really hoped she could get out of this hallway soon. She rounded a corner along the hallway and found herself facing an intersection.
Ooh, multiple choice. Okay, if you want Flutterby to go to the left, go to page 64.
But if you want it to be renamed to Flutter Cry, then go to the moon. The paths branched out to her left and right. I think that is what an intersection means, Arthur. I believe so, anyway.
Now, which way am I supposed to go?
Fluttershy
What are you asking me for? I don't know.
It's like the Until Dawn choice system. She looks to the left and right, with a curious expression. Fluttershy furrowed her brow in frustration and fear. She didn't want to get lost. Not here. Not with the idea that monsters could be anywhere. A music box began to hiss, letting out the sound of bees buzzing.
Bees buzzing, that's a bit of a mouthful.
She grimaced at herself for having jinxed it. The next sound she heard... Sorry, were you about to say something?
No, I was just snickering.
Ah.
I was thinking, yeah, you totally jinxed it, Father Shy.
The next sound she heard was the slow splashing of steps being taken in the water.
Oh,
is it a sea monster from Amnesia? Each step seemed to slosh around as it got closer. Well, as it goes closer, apparently. She looked down both paths. She couldn't tell which way the sound was coming from, and running back would only lead back to the dead end. Her attention snapped to the left route when her eyes caught the creature emerging in the light. Her eyes widened as she stared at what was treading through the water.
Ooh.
It was a mannequin.
Oh.
A moving mannequin with no head. Oh.
Oh, it's that kind of monster.
Yeah. I'm scared of mannequins, but this is the least threatening mannequin I've heard all day.
It cannot even bite you because it doesn't have a head.
Its body looked like it was made of cloth, rotted with age and wear. It had several large seams sewn along it, as if it had been put together and torn apart many times.
It's a metaphor for physical abuse. It's a metaphor for physical and mental abuse.
Yeah, I think we all gathered this.
I had to be the
snob around here. We got it.
I had to be the smart one.
No, you had to be the snob. It had several pale, sickly colours, and looked like it had trouble walking.
No, you don't know the meaning of the word clearly, because if I were to be the snob, I would say, why am I reading this? This is so beneath me. No, that's what a snob is.
Yeah, I know. I was just making fun of you.
If you had to make fun of me, at least do it right.
I'm tired, okay?
I know. So, Cluster Cry...
Cluster Cry took a step back from the creature. The buzzing of the music...
From the sea creature? Sorry?
From the creature, I said. The buzzing from the music box grew louder as it came closer. It reared its front legs up and smashed them down into the water, growing closer to Fluttershy.
Oh, I just want to play in the water. Isn't that adorable?
Oh, yeah, I just want to play with Fluttershy.
Run.
Run. Dun, 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 dun. Her legs acted on their own, her galloping fast down the right path, getting as far away from the monster as she could. The water kicked up and sprayed across her body as she ran as fast as she could through the hallway. The water was slowing her down, but she could outrun that creature. She looked behind her as the buzzing of the box grew to a quiet stop.
Oh, they grew up so fast. One day they are so small and they produce a little bit of a buzz, little noise, you can barely hear it. And the next minute they are like going full-blown static.
The mannequin couldn't keep up with her. She was in the clear. She slowed down a little, breathing slowly as she turned to look in front of her. Oh, softly? Okay, sorry, I misread that. Stopping just short of running into a wall. Oh, dear.
Oh, no, a wall. That's April O'Neil's greatest weakness. Running into walls.
She had come to another split in the road. She looked down the right path, not seeing anything unusual.
Uh-huh.
Suddenly, her music roared. What, no box? Suddenly, her music roared with its buzzing, as her head snapped to the left, right before her body was hit by two hind legs.
Ouchie!
Sending her flying down the right path.
Ow, that's smarts.
She hit the water with a huge splash.
No, my extension! It was so expensive!
As she skidded along the ground, she winced in pain as her skin burned and her chest ached. The lantern had landed just next to her head, with a splash in the water cutting the light from the area.
So let me get this straight. This mannequin's main attack is basically a bump to the shoulders.
Oh
Doesn't
no,
seem all that threatening.
I lightly bumped into you, good sir.
I don't know. It doesn't seem all that threatening without a mouth to actually bite down on flesh.
Or maybe some form of, I don't know. Some mouths on the actual cloth.
Or maybe some spiked extensions.
Yeah. She groaned in pain, feeling a welt beginning to form on her chest as she groggily reached out for her light. She managed to grab the handle, lifting the lantern from the water. She could hear the steps of what had attacked her, shifting through the water.
Water, water, water.
Waterworld, everyone. Getting closer slowly, she frantically moved to turn the lantern back on. It gave a few clicks without turning on, making...
Thank you for that. That was so necessary.
Making Fluttershy grimace to each click. She desperately turned the knob again and again, praying for it to light up. The flame came to life, illuminating the mannequin, whose front hooves now stood raised over her. The legs came down, striking her body.
Oh wait, I get it. It's the headless horse. You know?
We come full circle, everybody.
The headless horse from season 3.
Yes, we come full circle.
How? How do we come full circle? I mean, to come full circle, you have to start from a specific point.
Yeah, we started in the actual original show, and now the fan fiction.
No, it's a full circle if it goes back to the actual show. That's how a full circle works. That's not a full circle. That's alpha circle, at least.
I ate the other half, okay? It was delicious.
It tasted like English muffins, which are not really English.
How would you know what it tastes like if I ate it?
Because I ate as well. That's the twist, I guess.
Oh my god, M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Pretty much.
Fluttershy wanted to let out a scream, but the handle of the lantern in her mouth just caused her to bite down. The hooves of the mannequin scratched against her skin. How? Does it have claws?
Maybe it's... No, but if you,
Oh wait, if it's broken.
If you put a hoof on skin, and you push while you, move the hoof towards a direction, it leaves a mark by the sheer pressure of it.
Ah. It's a scratch. It usually means like claws.
I know what it means. Let's just pretend it's something else.
Okay. As it dragged its hooves, pain soared through Fluttershy's mind. Because, get it? She has wings. Sword. As she winced, her eyes shut, biting down onto the lantern so hard she began to bleed a little, tears rolling down her eyes as she couldn't stop her attacker.
Well, it didn't take long for the abuse to start, didn't it?
No.
Okay, remember how Pinkie Pie was really physically and mentally abused during the first story?
Yeah.
Fluttershy gets abused so much more than Pinkie Pie. Yes, she gets much more of this.
Eesh.
So much more.
And we have a flashback.
If it's only one sentence, does it count as a flashback?
Yeah?
Anyway. I need you to be strong, 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 right now, now, now. All right, hi. There.
Congratulations. You've now done a flashback sequence. Here's your achievement.
My what?
Achievement. It is like an achievement, but cheaper. It's the bootleg version, okay? Her eyes shut open as she whipped her head around to look back at the mannequin. It raising its hooves once more to come down hard on her. Forcing every ounce of strength into her hooves, Fluttershy swirled her body around before kicking the mannequin with her hind legs. Yeah, you go, Fluttershy. Best pony. Yeah, this is the difference between me and Madhog showing through.
Yes, because you determine a man's personality or character by which pony they like. If you didn't know, now you know.
Dun 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 dun. The mannequin stumbled a tiny bit, forcing itself to put its hooves back on the ground. Fluttershy internally cursed herself for being so weak, but she was able to get back to her hooves. She turned and began to run again, escaping from the tormented creature. She felt like her lungs were burning. Each hoof step seemed to only intensify the pain in her chest, but she had to keep going. She rounded another corner, seeing another split before her, the buzz of the music box returning. She swiftly moved her head back and forth, seeing the mannequin trying to head for her, trying to attack her. She wouldn't let it this time. She turned down the left path and ran away from it. She looked up ahead of her and saw an opening. She rushed forward, putting all of her might.
It's back! It's back! It's friggin' back! All of her might! Yes!
It's back with a vengeance, baby!
Yes! Start up the counter! Yes! All her might! Woohoo!
Gotta dust that off. Putting all of her might for this one point of escape. She jumped out of the water, landing on dry land as she reached out for the door and opened it, escaping behind it before shutting it.
She's Shutterfly now.
Shutterfly panted heavily, leaning against the cool steel door.
This steel door is so cool.
Yeah, too bad it's not 20% cooler. She felt like her chest...
Well, for a method lore, it's pretty cool.
She felt like her chest was on fire, burning from behind, tossed around and slammed. She could feel blood trickling down the side of her from. I think he meant form.
I know, what? That's actually a surprisingly typical mistake.
Yeah, where the creature had cut into her, as she felt where she had been hit, slowly starting to swell. She could only let out a gasping groans and pants of pain as she tried to breathe. Her lungs feeling like they might burst with each breath of air. And I don't know why Madhog's breathing kind of reminded me of the Chozo Mifo series of 6 Days of Sacrifice. I don't know why.
What? Why do you keep referencing Yahtzee's games?
I don't know. It stuck out to me for the wrong reasons. There were monsters.
They were rather silly.
Yeah. There were monsters, just as Pinkie Pie had said there were. Her music box had warned her of the danger of the creatures too. But when she had been struck, she couldn't find the strength to stand up. She had been willing to lay there and take it. She would have let that mannequin do whatever it had intended to do to her.
Yes, remember what I said about metaphors of physical and mental abuse?
Yes.
This is all relevant.
I kind of guessed it would be relevant. Even though it's reminding us all of what just happened, just for this.
Pretty much.
It feels both kind of pointless and yet like there's something to it.
It has something to it, obviously.
Yeah. But a voice struck out in her mind. It was Rainbow's voice.
20% cooler, 10 seconds flat.
You're out! I'm suddenly remembering that umpire from that Bugs Bunny cartoon getting punched. She had told her to be strong. Fluttershy put the lantern down for a moment, wiping the blood from her mouth with her wet hoof. She was soaked. The water had drenched her completely. She needed to dry off, and she needed to put something on her wounds. She looked at the room she had just entered. It was a room similar to the one she had fallen into, only this time there was a ladder in the middle of it.
A ladder! Not a ladder! Anything but a ladder! Ah!
This is her greatest challenge.
Climbing a ladder!
It goes on twice as long as Skies of Arcadia's ladder.
It's even longer than the ladder climbing in Metal Gear Solid 3. And with the freaking music of the game playing in the background. And it goes on for 10 minutes or something. That was ridiculous.
Leading up into a hole above with a faint light shining down from it. Fluttershy adjusted her aching jaw, gently spitting out some blood that had been polishing, pooling in it.
It's very Polish blood. It's a Polish blood.
Yes,
Polish blood.
Yes, it gives that extra spit shine. She then gingerly picked up the lantern and turned it off, placing it back in the bag. She rubbed her jaw gently. I would have thought she would have done that while adjusting it, but okay. I need a better way to get light. She thought to herself for a moment. Was that a one-liner?
No.
She couldn't keep holding the lantern with her mouth if she was going to keep biting down on it.
You know, eventually Fluttershy is going to figure out a way to actually hold that lantern in a much more convenient way. Which is great, but it makes Pinkie Pie look really stupid for not thinking of it in the previous story.
Fluttershy slowly...
Which I am not okay with.
Yeah. Fluttershy slowly walked over to the ladder, beginning to climb up it one hoof at a time. Okay, 10 minutes worth of music now.
Still like a dream, Snake Eater.
Do, 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 do. The ladder.
Still in a dream.
Okay, enough of that.
Horse Eater.
The ladder seemed to stretch far into the hole. Fluttershy could barely see the top of the ladder, though she could still see it.
Ladder.
There's so many ladders, but no snakes. Though she could still see it.
Actually, there is a snake here. I don't know if you noticed. It's really subtle, but it's there. There is a snake.
Okay.
After all, you cannot pronounce ladder without adder. Eh? Eh? Get it? Well, it's true!
Though she could still see it, a faint light was shining down the hole, illuminating her path. The water in her mane and coat felt like it was holding her down, but it was slowly dripping off of her body.
I like to think that her fur or her coat has pretty much collected water, so now she's like a wet dog, and when she
comes up, she'll start shaking.
She's shaking, and then she becomes basically Flufflepuff. So much for that's.
Shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake.
Shake your body.
Shake your body, oh. With a few final grunts, she managed to pull herself to the top of the ladder, pulling herself to the wooden floor, and let herself lay on it.
Herself, ladder, herself.
Congratulations, you're hired. You've been promoted as well. Get it? Ladder. You know, the hierarchical ladder of the job.
Shut up and keep reading.
Panting as she breathed.
Shut up and keep reading. Perfect.
Her eyes felt a little heavy. You're not the only one. but she couldn't let herself lose consciousness yet, and neither can we, not till she at least tended to her wounds. She was in a house. A house? What type of house? She couldn't tell whose house it was, but it must have been a house in Ponyville. It was small, but it was cozy. She grunted as she slowly got to her feet, moving to where she could see a bathroom in the house. She pulled two towels that were hanging on the wall.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know, I ended up saying it wrongly, so I wanted to correct myself.
Oh, yes. Oh, for once, Devar is right. For once, Devar is wrong and the story is right. Even when I was trying to say something nice about the story, I still ended up saying that Devar was right. So, yeah, when I try to be nice about the mistakes it makes.
Okay, so let's see, what was it?
She pulled two towels.
I'm trying to look for it again. She pulled two towels that were hanging on the wall and placed them against her body. She winced as the cotton landed on the scratches on her back, but bore the pain for the moment. She rubbed the towels against her hair and coat, getting as much water as she could get off her. Once she felt she was dry enough, she looked at her wounds in the mirror. The scratches on her back were deeper than she had thought, but weren't too serious. What worried her more was the deep blue marks that had appeared on the side of her chest from where she had been kicked. Her teeth were a little red as well. Ugh. But it only seemed to be minor bleeding. It stopped on its own. She looked through the bathroom drawers and found a bottle of antiseptic and a few bandages. With very careful hooves, she cleaned her wounds, and I'm getting deja vu. Grimacing and gritting her teeth as the alcohol burned. Once it was cleaned, she carefully placed the bandages against the wounds and wrapped it a few times around her body. A few tears escaped her eyes as she grimaced in pain, but she had to make sure the bandages were on securely. She panted once the whole procedure was over. She wobbly stood on her hooves and inspected the bandages. They do for now, but she needed a serious medical evaluation once she could find a doctor.
Well, lucky for you then. Next stop is the hospital.
Her eyes grew heavy as she slowly wandered out of the bathroom. Yes, she wandered off the bathroom. Sorry about that, folks. She couldn't go outside like this. If she was attacked, she wouldn't have the strength to run away. Fluttershy wandered to the nearby couch and gently slid her bag off, placing it next to the couch before getting on top of it and curling up.
Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, where are you two?
Meanwhile, Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie are having an excellent adventure in Wonderland. They're riding actual rainbows, they're hanging out with the White Rabbits and the Mad Hatter having tea.
And the Queen wants to take off their heads.
And they're fighting against dinosaurs with bazookas while riding fire-breathing dragons.
While destroying ninjas.
We should definitely read that story instead.
Yeah, we definitely should read that fan fiction written by that guy from Venture Brothers.
Angel Bunny XOXO13.
No. Anyway, where are you two? Fluttershy thought as she began to close her eyes, a few more tears escaping.
Please, I need you two with me.
And we have a repeated flashback, as in the same sentence from before, as in the same identical sentence with no change. I need you to be strong right now. Ow, 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 ow. All right,
All right. I promise. I will pee.
Okay, okay.
Cool. Fluttershy said, holding back her lonely sobs. She had to be strong. She told Dash that she would be. Actually, you nodded. You didn't tell her.
It's the equivalent of just saying, yes, Dash, I'll be the awesomest, coolest pony ever. For her, that is. And so Clusterfly.
And Clusterfly slowly but surely fell asleep.
And so are we. And this is the end of chapter 2. Right, so... I hope you enjoyed this reading. We didn't, but hopefully you will. We had so many problems during this one, more than we usually do, really. And not the usual amount of, the charming little problems that we face when we do improvisation, because that's part of the appeal of these Dramatis Lectio things, or at least I think it is. Now, we had really crippling flaws, mostly derived by our inadequacy for tonight's reading, because of natural causes.
Yes, sleep deprivation is natural, apparently.
Well, it's not artificial. Well, unless it's induced by the animals of Farthing Wood. Speaking of which, have you noticed that if you remove the H from the word Farthing, it becomes farting? The animals of Farthing Wood. That's the extent of my clever humor tonight, really. Oh, I am so sorry, but not really.
But yeah, we still hope you enjoyed this, folks, regardless of our ineptitude.
Well, there wasn't much to comment in the last third of this, so the reading went down a bit faster than it usually does. Did it not?
Yeah.
Also, Devar mostly read everything here, and since there will be only one character in this entire story now, which is Fluttershy, he's basically going to have all the lines.
Oh yeah, I got all the lines. All the lines.
Yes, this is the default girl voice that Devar has. He gave the same voice to that girl from Mogeko Castle.
I tried to make it different slightly, but only slightly.
It's kind of similar, and ironically, both that game and this story are about abuse. In some description or the other. Except one of them has a little bit of class, and has a little bit of an actually honest attempt at a story. The other one is pure trolling. I'll let you guess which is which. But for now, say goodnight, Devar. Da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. This has been Dramatis Lectio. Shh. Good night, kids. Have pleasant nightmares.